Good morning. This is Foxfire from Camp Apotheosis, and today we're going to explore how to create a more inclusive space in our camp, and the specific theme is around native headdresses. And this topic can be intense and challenging for many of us, so I invite us to take a few moments before we begin to ground. So I invite us to do a physiological sigh, which is a full inhale, allowing air to expand your core and ribs, with a second inhalation to expand the air sacs in the lungs, and then a long, slow exhalation, which allows the chamber of the heart to increase and automatically decreases our heart rate. So let's begin with 3 of these breaths. Inhale. Inhale. And inhale. Allowing your breathing to return to a natural place, maybe with a little more emphasis on a long, slow exhale. Thank you for joining me in those breaths. So I watched Burning Man's BIPOC town hall meeting and looked at the concerns that were brought up during that town hall meeting. And one major one that came up was how for Natives that it can be very emotionally taxing, draining, hurtful when they see non-natives wearing headdresses on the playa. They have to evaluate if they have enough energy to go educate the person on that in that moment, and just seeing where they're at personally. And I'm inviting our camp to look at how we can also be a part of this education process and create more inclusive spaces. So we as a camp discussed some of this. And so I invite you to pause this video and either think about it internally or discuss it with other people, how you might handle this. So when I watched the town hall meeting, I really had no idea about the headdress concern. And so I went and researched on my own and learned that headdresses are, in the tribes that I read about at least, are only worn by the elders, or a sign of great respect and reverence for the elders and how they have contributed to their community. And not just anyone who is old can wear a headdress. It's really something that is earned within the tribe, within the community, that shows the respect for what this person has done for their people. And so headdresses, when worn by non-natives, is seen as disrespect for the culture and also a strong disrespect for the elders that are held in this high reverence. So what do we do if someone walks in wearing a headdress into our camp? I invite you to pause here and have a conversation with yourself or others about this. Okay, thanks for pausing and coming back. So some of the things we talked about was that we didn't want to assume that the person's not a native. Maybe they are native, wearing it for reasons that are in alignment with themselves and their community. So an opening question could be, could you tell me what that headdress means to you? If the person says, yes, like I just did a ceremony out in the playa, my father died a decade ago and I just became an elder in our tribe, in my community, and this is my first day wearing it, and it represents the Native American culture that I'm a part of. Great. We're not going to ask this person to remove their headdress. It seems that they are wearing it in alignment with the beliefs from which it comes from. On the other hand, if the person says, isn't it amazing? I just ordered it off of Amazon. I just think it looks so beautiful. What do you think? Okay, this is an opportunity for education now. Yeah, that headdress really is beautiful and amazing. I completely understand why you think that. I have recently learned more about Native headdresses. Are you willing to learn more about what I just discovered? I'd love to share it with you. And then taking that opportunity to explain the elder piece and how it could be a less than welcoming space if someone who is non-native is wearing that headdress. And then I would ask them if they would remove it while in our camp space. Would they have a space for it in the bag they came with? If not, I'd be happy to find them a bag in which they could keep it and keep the bag and, store the headdress in the bag for the rest of the time that they are at least in our camp, and maybe for the rest of the day. And if they are resistant to removing the headdress, that is a conversation I would still continue and really let them know that our values as a camp are to create an inclusive space, and that if they would like to stay, within our camp's offering, we would require that they remove the headdress. We would love them to be here, and we would love their presence and the gifts they have to offer and to connect with them on a deeper level. And we are also strongly holding the value of creating an inclusive space. What are your thoughts? How does this approach sound to you? Maybe take a moment to discuss that or think about it yourself. Talk about it with others. Pause the video. Thanks for pausing, discussing, and coming back. And, I believe I'm always learning and growing. So I would love any comments of ways that you believe I could do this better in the video below. Any questions that you have, please feel free to put them below. Thank you for listening and considering ways that we can create more inclusive spaces. Thank you.